Hey, I'm Shay and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Vlogmas Day 3. Let's cook some breakfast. Okay, so breakfast is cooking. I got the Christmas tree all turned on. And so let's catch up while that's going. I can hear the bacon sizzling in the background. I wonder if you can hear that. So I, yesterday, opened I, Medusa by Ayana Gray, and this is what I'm going to be reading today. I have gotten through literally the first 10 pages of this. I've just barely cracked this bad boy open, but I will say already, I'm really, really enjoying the writing style in this, and I am very excited to see where this goes. I will also say that it might be worth looking up trigger warnings. I don't know if they are posted anywhere, but the very first scene as this opens is a very jarring scene. And so it might just be worth, looking up trigger warnings if you're going to read this with me, if you're reading this. I am thrilled for this. I feel like, so I'm going to, of course, make myself binge all of these books, like have them as close to one sitting as I possibly can in order to be able to read them every day for you guys. But this already feels like something I would want to read in one sitting anyway, which just makes it easier. So I'm really, really excited for that. So I'm going to go finish up breakfast. We are going to eat together, and then I am going to just have some dedicated reading time. It looks like Christmas threw up in this house in a bad way. There are like plastic pieces that were holding ornaments and empty boxes of lights laying around everywhere. So I also think today is going to be a little bit of a reset day. Yesterday, my mom left after staying with us through her fall break. And so there is a lot of stuff, when you just have people over and they stay for a while and things like that, how you get out of your regular routine. I have been out of my regular routine and there is stuff everywhere. So I think we're going to have a bit of a reset day together. We're going to read this book that I'm so excited about, and it's going to be a good time. I think it's going to be a good time. Okay, I feel like I look as haggard as I feel. I sat down and was like, I'm going to read some of the book, and then I have some other things that I have to get done today. I was going to go on a walk. I was going to stop at Dutch Bros and try a holiday drink. There were plans. But when I tell you I did not get up until I finished the entirety of I, Medusa, and I have thoughts. I want to talk about this, but I am overwhelmed. So in order to organize my thoughts, let's go ahead and do our tea for the day. I'm going to make a hot cup of tea. Now is a great time for you to also make a hot cup of tea if you want one. We're going to sit down together. We're going to have some tea and we're going to talk about I, Medusa. Let's go make some tea.
For day 3, we have a green apple and elderberry tea. This tea is made of a mild green base and infused with wonderful flavors of apple and elderberry. The tea has subtle spicy notes and slight freshness from the added nuts.
So I figured while we were waiting on that to steep, I could talk to you about this book. Again, I'm overwhelmed, so bear with me. I'm going to try, y'all know I love to yap. You know I am a yapper. So I'm going to try to keep it concise, and I'm going to try to be really sensitive about the contents of this book. I'm going to go ahead and give a trigger warning. I'm not going to talk about it in depth, but this book does. So I'm going to give a trigger warning right now for essay. So if you want to skip the discussion about this book, if anything about that might be triggering for you, then I would encourage you to skip today's book discussion, hit the timestamp for opening the new book, finding the bear, doing a little bit of a reset of the house. All of those things are going to happen at the timestamp below. But I am about to talk about this book, and it goes in depth with discussions about essay. I would say that is probably the theme of this book. And so just if you need to, please take good care of yourself and, go ahead and skip ahead. Okay, so this book was incredibly written. The dogs are coming in from the yard. It was necessary. The intersectionality of women, Black women, queer women, women in different social classes, in different income brackets. Like there are so many places that the intersectionality of identities and how it affects the way that you are viewed in society, the way your voice is heard in society. It was so beautifully done in here. And the explorations were not only poignant, they were necessary. And I think that had I known what this was about going into it, which I'll talk about in just a second. Had I known, maybe this would not have been a book that I would have put on my wish list for vlogmas, because I was thinking light, fluffy, fun. And you do get some of that school setting almost. You get some of the trials or challenges setting. Like you get some of the settings that I am used to in fantasy that were fun, but there were so many deep conversations being had in this book. And not only that, but it was so incredibly layered. I'm coming away from it with an overwhelming feeling of melancholy and disappointment and sadness, because it was fiction, but it was way too real. And so I think the way that it connected me back to seeing the parallels in real life made it a difficult read. It was easily 5 stars. It was so well done. It was so well written. The way that the story was woven includes you in a reality that you might not have otherwise experienced, which, while being a very good thing and a thing that takes extreme talent to do, it also is jarring because a lot of the experiences were negative. And so I would say, if you know anything about the Medusa tattoo, if you know anything about Greek mythology to begin with, then this probably wouldn't be as jarring to you. But I think that I spoke about, maybe in my 37 books that I read recently video, I talked about how I read, I can't even remember what it's called now, The Bonds of Hercules, The Blood of Hercules, something like that, the Jasmine Moss book. I'll put it here so you can see. And how I was like, the reason why this was so fun is because she could go as far away from canon as she wanted, because I have never read any Greek mythology, really. I've never read any Greek retellings, really. And so all of this felt new to me. And so the darker side, dark underbelly of Greek mythology, I had no idea about. And so as I was telling LT, I'm kind of shocked about the direction that this is going, because of course I went in completely blind. You know, he was like, that tracks with the actual Greek mythology. Like, this sounds like she's doing a retelling that sticks really close to versions of the story that I've heard before. And I was like, oh, okay. As somebody who has an understanding of some of the things that she explored that I wish I did not have, I think that it was done. I think it was incredibly well done. I will go back and look for Ayana Gray's backlist. I will read anything she puts out, because I think her ability to make a fictional story connect in a real way, especially because it isn't fictional for a lot of women, was unmatched, unparalleled. I think it was beautiful, like a stunning story. But this was hard. It was a hard story. I read it without stopping. I read it pretty much all the way through. I think I read the first 2 or 3 chapters this morning before getting ready. And then the next time I sat down to read it, I read it in its entirety. So maybe reading it a little bit slower would make it not such a punch in the face. Maybe knowing some of the background of what it's about, or having some of the knowledge of the Greek mythology, would make it not so difficult. But 5 stars easily. I feel like I'm in a bit of a hangover, so I'm going to alert LT to my post-book hangover. I'm going to hope for something a little lighter and fluffier tomorrow. Yeah, but definitely 5 stars for me. So let's pour this tea, let's taste it and rate it. And then I think I want to reset the living space, which I think is about all I have energy left for tonight. And then we will open a book, find a bear, and go to bed. Yeah, let's have some tea. Okay, it is smelling super fruity, super green tea-esque. Smells like something that I recognize. I'm wondering if I made this too sweet for you. It's very tasty to me. Sorry, I don't mean to make you... I'm not trying to make you lose all your street cred. I just don't want you to scald your mouth. I like this a lot. I am feeling like you're probably going to give it a lower rating because I oversweetened it, and which has nothing to do with the company. So white or green, he prefers black. I know he's going to rate it lower because it is fruity green tea. I really like this though. I'm going to go 8 out of 10. Were you going to give it a 4? You were going to give it a 4. So you like it less than the first one. Okay, so we're about to open a book, but I have decided that I want to clear a shelf in my library for all of the Vlogmas books, and I'm close to having it cleared already because the ones for the intro on day one are just wrapped books from my library, because had he wrapped the actual books and stacked them on me on day one, I probably would have guessed a lot of them, as you could see by me guessing yesterday's book, like literally just by holding it. So because I didn't want to be able to guess them all, he has them all like hidden in his office, and I don't get to see the real thing until we're picking it. So right now I want to clear a shelf so that when I unwrap the books after I've read them, I can add them to the Vlogmas shelf, and we can kind of get like an update on the shelf each day of what I have completed. So I think maybe when I finish it, I'll add it to the shelf, whatever. So most of these books on this shelf are already wrapped. And so I think I'm going to move them down here to where A Torch Against the Night is on that bottom shelf. I think I'm going to move to All the Boys series down there. And I think this one up here is going to be our like Vlogmas shelf of the books that I get during Vlogmas, which means at the end, that single shelf will have 25 books. So let's go ahead and move those down, and then we'll open a book. Okay, I already feel intensely grateful for LT because this looks like a paperback, and so I'm hoping that it is a holiday romance where like the worst thing that happens is somebody loses their wallet and it turns into like a meet cute that changes their lives, you know, like in a good way, not like they're mugged or anyway. So what?
I could be tricking you.
Okay, let's see what we got. It's definitely a paperback. It is a skinny little paperback. This has got to be a holiday romance. The first one that I can think of on my list is Holiday Ever After by Hannah Grace. Let's open it and see. Nice. Cool. Okay, so it is a holiday romance. Thank goodness. This is A Little Holiday Fling. It's by Farrah Heron. So thankful for a cute little cheeky contemporary romance. So tomorrow, if you are looking for a cozy holiday romance to read, I encourage you to pick this up with me. And now it's time for
Somewhere Snowman. Somewhere Snowman. Okay, I have to hide the snowman somewhere, and it has to be somewhere good where she's not gonna find it. So come with me while I try and find somewhere to hide it. First, I have to get one out of here. And then we have to hide it somewhere. We did the library yesterday, so I don't think we're gonna do that again. So I'm gonna go around and try and see what I can find. But we have to do it sneaky like so that she doesn't know. If we sneak around.
Why are you making that face and whispering?
I think she's onto us. No? Nothing? What? Okay. What are you talking about? You don't know. Okay. Okay. Well, I guess you'll find out with her where I hid it.
Okay, I'm about to go find the snowman, but I was just reading up a little bit about A Holiday Fling. You know, I don't read like synopses or anything, but I wanted to know more about the author. And it turns out that she is a South Asian author, and I have read from her before. I think I read Accidentally Engaged by her, and I'm even more excited because I recognize the author, although I still have no idea what this is about. And also, the audiobook is narrated by Sunila Nankani, and she's one of my favorite. Like, I really like her as a narrator, so I'm excited. I'm even more excited. I was excited to begin with, but I'm even more excited to read this now. So I wanted to give you that update. Let's go find a bear. I mean, we can't do that. There are no bears in this house. They are not hidden. Wow, I can't even say the alliteration. Is the snowman somewhere? Let's go find out. So y'all know I suffer from the affliction of always thinking that the snowman is in this tree. And unfortunately, yesterday when we hung up ornaments, I hung up this little guy, and I keep thinking he is the snowman. So as soon as I stood up, I was like, oh, I know exactly where it is. I see it. That is not the snowman. That is a snowman ornament that is like the same shape and size as the snowman. I will say that I put up our faithful gnome. Sometimes the bear in the past has ridden on this little sleigh with him. And so I thought maybe there, but there's no way because again, that was in front of me. Guess I'll check the library, which would be so weird because it was in the library yesterday. Wow, you've outdone yourself because I cannot. Why are you laughing? Is it like really easy and I'm missing it? Can't find it anywhere. The dogs have put themselves to bed. You know it's a serious day when the dogs didn't even wait on us to come in here. I've looked everywhere and it doesn't exist. Mom was like, hopefully you find it before he has to give you a hint. And I was like, he never gives me hints. I find it every time. It's day 3 What's the hint?
It's in this general room, but not in the tree.
You hid it in here with me in here, and I didn't see you hide it in here. And I've been looking that long in other rooms, and it's in here in this general room, but not in the tree. I'm probably going to cut this to be less than a minute so that you do not have to painstakingly watch me look for this. But when I tell you this is over 7 minutes of footage of me looking for this bear that I cannot find anywhere in this room, this is embarrassing. I'm the reigning find the small lint chocolate creature champion. I've been doing this for years. This is embarrassing. How disappointed would y'all be on a scale of 1 to 10 if I just didn't find the snowman tonight? He said I have to find it or Luna might, and then I found it immediately. Next to the dog's water bowl, in this plant, hiding among the leaves and forestry, I think maybe because it's not at eye level. Truly, I think that I have 12 minutes of footage of me looking for this little bear. Let's have the bear and say goodbye. Cheers. Okay, LT, sign us off. Did you start a trend that not even you can remember?
The end of the third day of vlogmas.
3.
For three French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. We'll see you for day 4 tomorrow. Why am I holding it like this?